everyone, welcome. We're extremely excited to launch and talk about the collaboration between Studio PKA and Cocoon Fine Rugs, and it's called the Elemental Collection. With Elemental, we seek to share an intimate story of our journey as architects and designers in the city we call home. Before we start the discussion, I'd like to talk a bit about the concept behind the rugs. Inspired by the intangible and tangible aspects of the studio, the Elemental Collection is a confluence of art, architecture, and culture, infusing the ethos and philosophy of the design house and depicting it through its works, as well as taking inspiration from its physical location within the art district, which is South Bombay. Within the collection, we have two lines. The first is Terra Firma, which deconstructs and juxtaposes elements, materials, and textures of existing projects designed by the studio, an abstraction of not only its works, but its ideology as well. Firmly rooted in both thought and expression, Terra Firma explores the four major landforms: mountains, hills, plateaus, and plains, through abstracted forms and a muted palette. The second is the Bombay Deco line, which has been influenced and inspired by the history of the city, as well as the architecture, a celebration of the built environment that needs to be respected, preserved, and adapted for today's needs. With Bombay Deco, the final expression is an ode to the city of dreams through renowned cinema halls and the architecture of the era, ultimately highlighting an architectural style with pops of color and a play of form, coupled with a dash of nostalgia. So I'd just like to request all of you to view a small little clip that we've put together and officially launch the collection. Thanks. Hey Ayush, can you hear me?
Hey Noel, how are you doing?
Fine.
Beautiful video.
Thanks. Looks good. So
Big days finally here.
yes, it's finally here, and it's been quite some time since we put this together, and finally we have it out for everybody to see. It looks great.
Absolutely.
Congratulations to you, to the
To
entire
all
team.
of us, to all
Yes,
of us, you guys have been hard at work all through lockdown on this project, Noel.
yes. And you see in the video, just before I call in Puran, I wanted to just hear your thoughts on the collaboration and maybe a bit about the rugs, how we went about it. Just quick thoughts, and then I'll bring in Puran.
Absolutely. I think super excited, Noel. We love the sensibilities that Studio PK brings to the table. You, Deshna, Puran, and the rest of the team. We love your taste. We've collaborated over multiple projects over the years, and it was amazing to design a product. I mean, obviously, rugs together. And we're excited to see what Cocoon's customers and some of our other homeowners think about this collection. But I'm super excited with these two unique and distinct directions that we have taken with the collection.
Yes, yeah. Awesome. So I just like to invite Puran now to come in, and we can kickstart things.
Hey
Sounds
guys.
great.
Hi,
Hey,
Puran. How are you?
Puran.
Hey Ayush, how are you doing?
Very good. How are you?
Good. Don't know if, of course, I don't know if the presentation went well, but this just that we put something together at the last minute and we thought that we should be able to visually show people as much as we can locked in wherever we are. So that was the
Yeah,
objective. Thanks,
yeah,
Noel and team for that.
yeah.
That worked
So
out well. I was concerned today. There was an update that came up on my phone with a new Insta update, and I was extremely concerned what was going to happen by the time I logged in the evening today. So thankfully, everything went smoothly.
Well,
yes. So
thanks.
all right. Yes. All right, guys. You guys can take the discussion forward. Talk about the collaboration. I believe Ayush has a couple of thoughts, questions. And before I jump out, I just like to remind everybody that there is, if you have any thoughts or questions while the discussion is going on, you can always leave it in the dialog box at the bottom. So it's a speech bubble with a question mark. So you can leave it over there, and maybe by the end of the discussion, Puran can take some questions as well. All right, guys, handing it over to you. Yeah.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Noel.
Noel. Thank you so
Also,
much.
just before you go,
Yes.
if you have your glass, maybe we should just raise a little toast for this. Uh, Okay, Noel, you can say
Cheers,
yeah,
cheers, Noel. Thank
Yeah.
you.
guys. Team Studio
and
PK,
and
Team
and to the
Cocoon,
Cocoon team.
of course,
Yes.
Team Studio
Yes.
PK and Cocoon for this collaboration, for this launch, for this uh, for this love and for this labor that has gone into it. Cheers to this,
Cheers.
and hopefully to have this product being appreciated by everybody who's with us today. Thank you.
Cheers,
Thanks,
Puran.
Noel. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
So first things first, Puran, ideally in a regular world, regular times, we'd be doing this over having friends over, a small party over at the loft or at the Cocoon Gallery. But I'm glad we are in some ways being able to recreate this, over a sundowner, whether it's virtually or not. So I've heard friends, Puran, some of them have had babies over the last few months, and they've called them lockdown babies. And honestly, given the time that we've spent on this collection, I think this is a lockdown baby all the way.
So
Um,
I don't know
so
whether
what do you think?
sorry, I don't know whether I want to call it a lockdown baby, but what this has done, it has opened a few locks for us, opened a few doors for us to get into the foray of product design. As a studio, as a team, we are a creative lot which is primarily focused on spatial design, whether we have the architecture or the interior design, whether it's the residential or the commercial design. But what this particular initiative, Ayush, and thanks to Cocoon team and you guys coming together on this, has done is that now Studio PKA is definitely looking forward to a complete discipline and in a serious way of product design. So for us, it's opened a few doors. So I really can't call it lockdown, but yeah, this is all through the lockdown last year. You remember we came together around this time last year, and
Right.
we put our heads together. We've gone into our heads and our imaginations, and we've come up with some things which we've given to you people, and I think it's a beautiful product that you put together for us to have it. So yeah, by all means, something that's done all through the lockdown, whether it is the imagination, the creativity that's gone into it, the production, and now the launch. All of this while we are still not able to move freely. But yes, congratulations to you people for making sure that the product has been manufactured in time.
Thank you, Pooran. I think great teamwork on that. It truly has been a labor of work, and it really shows the resilience within the design community that we often speak about, and especially in the last year or so. I think we are a resilient lot, and even if it comes to product design, I think this is something that we can pull off digitally, virtually, through meetings and so on. So yeah, it's been honestly, it's been a pleasure. But yeah, I think you're talking about being a multidisciplinary studio, Pooran, and you've done some phenomenal work over the years. And why rugs as the first product to expand the horizons of the studio? Talk a little bit about that, and how did that sort of idea come about?
We believe in not just designing the spaces, but actually giving them a final shape, a final look. And soft furnishings is very much a part of that, Ayush. We'd love to make sure that we walk out of this space with the client having got just about everything, whether it's the drapes, whether it's the rugs, art, and going on to artifacts and stuff. So in principle, rugs are one area which we take very seriously. We take extremely seriously in our projects. And you've seen that over the years. We have been using Cocoon rugs and also other rugs very, very religiously, making sure that the eventual design, the eventual ensemble actually comes together with the way of, by the means of the rugs, with the furniture. So when we were thinking about designing a product, we thought that maybe since this is one area, one vertical which we really take extremely seriously in our completion of projects, why don't we design rugs? Sometimes we are really struggling to find designs that actually relate with us, that relate with our projects, the language of our projects. And there, it's important that we do have something that resonates. And we thought we should just design our own rugs, and at the right time, the right place, there was Ayush Chaudhary and his team with Cocoon saying, time we'll produce, we will manufacture. And so here we are.
No, it's a Pooran. I think I'm sure a lot of people here who are on the live probably know you as a laid back person. You have this very cool vibe about you, and I think that was my first impression when I met you, Pooran. But over the course of this project, I've realized how meticulous and how detail oriented you and of course the entire team is. And I think that's probably been a serious learning for me, Smriti, Megha, and the rest of the team as well. Really cool stuff. But talk about the inspirations. Like I said, these are two unique themes. Terra Firma and Bombay Deco. How did you guys? What were the conversations that you all were having internally while coming up with this concept, this collection?
So initially on when we started with the thought process, with the creative process of coming up with themes, there were many themes that were there in the orbit. And it was tough to actually shed those themes and say, okay, we won't start with them. But what really stuck, and one of the things that I was very sure about, was that our projects, our design philosophy and its aesthetics should lead to a line, it should lead to a collection which not only complements our projects, but it opens up a lot of options for a lot of designers and architects, the fraternity that we have here in India or abroad, for them to use the collection in their projects. So one collection here, Terra Firma, is inspired by Studio PKA's projects, its design, its ethos, the very vibe that you see in our projects. And the other theme, which we could have actually timed it in a manner that they were 6 months or a year apart, but I think all in all, I wish it worked out well that we've got two of these themes under one elemental umbrella. So elemental actually is about one element or the other. One is Terra Firma has the very earthy tones, the very organic feel of design, which is pretty much what we breathe as Studio PKA design philosophy, and that forms with the colors of the earth, the organic tones, and the rest. On the other hand, Bombay Deco, which is inspired by the Art Deco heritage in architecture that we have in our city. Bombay is one of the leading cities in the world with Art Deco that it inherits through those times, and it continues to service, or it continues to actually enjoy. So we thought that Art Deco as a style is something that we have to explore. You came on board on that and say, I'm very, very excited about Art Deco. I remember that meeting still. And you didn't want to let go of Art Deco and said, Puran, if you guys have already finalized that you want to do Studio PK's philosophies, the design philosophy as part of one series, do both. Let's do something which is organic and do another one which has also got the Art Deco expression. So the other series has got the Art Deco as its lifeline. It breathes the very inspiration which it draws from Art Deco style of buildings we have in Bombay, and hence Bombay Deco. Of course, going one layer below that, Ayush, in Terra Firma, we have, as Noel was briefly suggesting in the introduction, we focused on the four landforms, the four main landforms that we have on this planet, which is mountains, hills, plateaus, and plains. And each one of these rugs, the four rugs that we put together in Terra Firma, actually are related, or they relate aesthetically to these four landforms. You will find that they are extremely universal, extremely melding in their own way. But when you step aside and look at them, they relate with the landform, the organic nature of design. On the other hand, Bombay Deco actually has nostalgia written all over it. It has, as a series, because we are also nostalgic about our city, about where we've grown up, we've seen it in our youth, and we continue to enjoy the same heritage in either Victorian architecture or Art Deco architecture. So Art Deco, as one of the themes that we've taken over, actually relates with everything that you've experienced in South Bombay, in the south of the city. And there, one of the big experiences happens to be the cinema houses that are also all designed in that. I'm talking about the single screen theaters, which a lot of the world that we live in today does not know about. But the single screen theaters of Bombay are mostly all in Art Deco style. So we picked up 5 designs, and those 5 actually are called 5 theaters of the year. We do have Strand and Regal and Metro and Liberty and Eros as the 5 theaters which generations have actually gone and enjoyed and got entertained and have loved the atmosphere. We've done that when we were young, and I remember sneaking away to these theaters for movies, even on working days, not having our bosses know about that. That's not a very good example for the younger lot, but yeah, we didn't realize, Ayush, and I'm sure my friends would agree with me about this. We didn't realize that somewhere the architecture, the design style was building you. It was actually becoming a part of you as you were experiencing, as you were enjoying these buildings. So we thought that maybe we should try and now express ourselves back again to give to the city and to the world that knows the city through its cinema houses and its buildings. So that's the objective there.
Yeah, and it's amazing, Puran, as you talk about movie theaters. I think that's something that everyone that's on the live, I'm sure, is missing single screen or multiplexes. And I think that the nostalgia was quite kind of important. I think last June, May, June, when we were working on this, concept. I think, yeah, we were all emotional. We were all, romancing the city a little bit, especially everything that the city, the people were going through, with the first wave. And so I think, of course, the idea behind it also has a lot more romance, given the phase that we sort of, came up with the collection. And I think the end result's stunning. So I'm excited to be able to get out and have a look at those theaters now that we have some of those rugs named after them as well, Puran.
Yes.
So Bombay at the heart of it. You're a Bombay boy, Puran. I think that was one of the questions I'd asked you, right at the beginning. Is that something that reflects in a lot of your projects? I think the aesthetics that growing up in the city that you've come to sort of have over time. Does that reflect across some of the projects that you do as well? And in what ways would you like to talk a little bit about that?
Sure. So I would say consciously that there are 2-3 things over here. One is the city has a kind of spirit that it grows on you. So whether you were born here or not. So I wasn't born here, but I was here very early in my early youth, and I feel that a place like Bombay, with its vibe and its cultural richness, actually grows on you and reflects. It expresses itself through whatever you do. And we being in the creative field, of course, it has a huge impact on how we think, how we imagine things, and how we express them. So yes, Bombay does come in there. However, while in Elemental, there is the Bombay Deco as well as the Terra Firma. Terra Firma has projects which are in Bombay that we've designed, and hence they're rooted in the city and do have the very texture of the city, which we do see in our work as well. That's one aspect that's common. Bombay Deco, of course, because it's the Art Deco in Bombay. These are the two things that actually express themselves very vividly in Elemental. But I do want to say this on this platform, and that's for you as well, Ayush, and to Cocoon, that we've not spoken about. We do have Bombay as one of the themes that's brewing. That's what's happening. And Bombay by itself, in its very pure form, in its absolutely honest form, is something that we want to express through products. Rugs being one, but the other products, we definitely want to express Bombay and the very ethos, the very culture of the city through our product work. And that you will see in times to come. And I'm sure that you'll be excited to know about that as time rolls by.
Now, Bombay is a huge source of inspiration for us as well, Purna. Obviously, the rug making ends up happening out of our head office out of Jaipur. But I think the city continuously inspires us. Our interactions with people like yourself and other friends in the design community continually inspire us. And I think that's why I think as Cocoon, at least, we've called Bombay home and not the other way around.
Right.
But Puran, so lockdown designing, collection, product design, first foray. What were some memorable dialogues, discussions that you all were having? What sort of fights? I know Noel and Deshna have not spoken openly, but I would love to at least hear from you. What were some memorable moments in coming up with this collection, Puran?
Yeah, I know so a lot. So Noel and Deshna would meet me after this, and we will go through this. So as we started with this initiative, I think as I said, they were a pot of ideas, and we wanted to dig into that and see what actually works. And since there were so many themes, so many ideas to choose from, somehow the very aspect of picking what you believed in became the fight. It became a fight within. When I say fight, as a team, we love to fight because that's how we express ourselves, and that's how we come up with what we do. And so there was a lot of struggle to come up with the initial ideas, the initial sketches, to understand where we are headed. We had just taken on an initiative. You had said yes. Cocoon said, we believe in you because you have always been choosing Cocoon as one of your preferred brands for rugs for your projects. And that was big enough for us, Ayush, because your trust, and I would say a blind faith in what we were going to do was very important for us to start thinking, to start digging into our sensibilities. But having talked about being in a time where we can't meet each other, remember, we cannot be at the long table in the studio, and we cannot really be in the same space and thrash things out. It's all done. Everybody is working in their homes and at their places with their virtual medium, and we're putting this together through our heads and exchanging ideas. It was extremely difficult at one point where we thought that we should launch only one line, just one collection. But eventually, because there's something tying up the two, that's our design as well as Art Deco style in Bombay, through the element as one of the common factors, I think that the fight diffused. Otherwise, Noel and Deshna would have been good friends forever in their lives. So yeah, I have to bring this here that as a bunch of designers, it's never easy for us to put something together and to go out and give it to the world, because what we do is then there forever. At least the architects do this, where what you build is really there for all the time that people are looking at it and enjoying it or not enjoying it. So we need to be extremely sure about it. And I think in that we've had some very stiff moments, which we like to keep to ourselves. But yeah, just to let the viewers know that it's not been easy to put together a collection of 9 rugs, put on in thought, put on paper, and then virtually thrown across to Cocoon for them to go and build it in Jaipur and bring it back in the city. Now they're here. They're here in Bombay. You can actually fix up with Ayush and actually have a look at these rugs by yourself.
I think I liked that comment that you made, Puran, the blind faith that we put in you as designers. I think it also is the other way around as well, right? You chose Cocoon as your partner, Puran, yeah, I'm sure there was something to it. Like you said, you used different rugs over time, but you chose Cocoon. So talk a little bit about it. What drew you to Cocoon, and why did you choose us as your partners to execute this, stunning collection?
So I think this is one of those things that just happened very naturally. I remember for the longest, we hadn't even met, and we had been using Cocoon as a brand for ever. This has also happened in the other products, the other industries, where we've used a product for the product and not really done that the social way or the networking way where you know each other and then hence you use the product. So when the multinationals come calling and say, hey, listen, we'd like to show this product to you, and I would tell them that I've been using this for years. You actually didn't have to come across and be in our studio for that. You're most welcome, but we didn't need to meet to do this. Pretty much something like that has happened between you and I, where one way or the other, when we start looking for rugs, we have often found a lot of solutions through Cocoon rugs. A lot of solutions, I must say. Whether it's the residential spaces or the commercial spaces, we have managed to find a certain parity in the aesthetic that our studio has in its design sensibility with Cocoon's production and its designs. It may be a very happy accident for you guys, and maybe it's something that has drawn us as designers, as a studio to you. But I have thrived on that for a long, long time. And so when this opportunity came for us to start foraying into product design, and you were, as I've already said, the right guy at the right place at the right time. This was the time to start thinking something that we were not able to do, which means I couldn't possibly draw something and take it to the site and build, because there was no sites happening.
Right.
You had a factory which possibly could manufacture our designs, and we were ready to go into product design in a serious way, in a collaborative way. So why not Cocoon? Because you have always found that the aesthetics do make sense. And so Cocoon and Studio PKA coming together was actually just a glove fitting the hand. And that's how it has been. So you must take equal credit for the fact that your rugs have always satisfied us as designers. And
thank you. That means a lot. That means a lot, Puran. But I think, yeah, for us too, I think, Puran, obviously, that we've done some work in the past with, designers from various fields. And I think it literally has been about, like-minded people coming together and, just an organic, natural collaboration. So I think we've always believed in that. And I think, with you, it was just so natural. Like you said, I think I recall that first party that we met at, and it was at Cocoon. And, it just felt like we'd been connected for such a long time, even though we'd not met. So yeah, it just was natural, easy. And, here we are on a Friday evening drinking our.
But I launch as well. It was Bauhaus series of yours, and I remember coming for it because of the connect that you have with the design philosophy. And I said, okay, if it's a Bauhaus series that is being launched, Megha had asked me. She said, you must drop by and you must see this. And I wanted to make sure that I saw it firsthand and did not wait for it to be seen at our studios or at the sites. And the very aspect of that particular collaboration that you had and producing Bauhaus, it was a natural thing for me to think that it would be an obvious for a collaboration like ours to work, for us to be able to produce things together. And I think we're sitting on a collection which now your clients and our clients have to realize. They have to try and discover and see what happens.
No, absolutely, Puran. So I think one of the things I was thinking about as we sort of went along was rugs is obviously a start, but you're obviously going to go into different products, that, like you said, would be complementing, what your projects are like. What are some of these products that you're thinking of, Puran? Next, would you like to share some ideas that you have in mind?
Sure. So there are ideas that are floating around in our heads, and as I said, we've been thinking about it. And as we turned 25 years to practice a couple of years back, in fact, I had gone on record to say to our clients and to the world that uh, the studio now wants to be a multidisciplinary practice. It doesn't want to just design spaces. While we are continuing to design spaces, but we do want to make headway into various other areas. Products being one of those. One of the things that's very seriously being considered just now, and I want to warn the brands that are possibly there with us, or they will see this recording at some point, is that we are extremely serious about furniture. We do design our own furniture. We've always done that in our projects. We've been threatening the world with a serious line of furniture, which we've not managed to do for want of time or orientation. But so far, the furniture designing, Ayush, has been a part of our project designs. We design the spaces, and with that, the furniture gets designed, customized to our clients, customized for the project. But now, as we go forward, we are extremely keen to have our own collections, to have our own lines of furniture, which we are open about doing it all by ourselves or collaborating with serious brands that have similar sensibilities that Studio PKA speaks of. So that's something which we want to definitely seriously consider next. Furnishings of all kind. So it's not just the rugs. It's possibly tapestry. It's possibly soft furnishings, drapery. So we want to actually explore various areas of softer aspects of design in our spaces as Studio PKA's true expression, honest expression, in order to complement the space and comprehensively put it all together. This is something that we've been very, very seriously thinking about. And now, because we do not have a lot of construction still, we are constructing as we speak. We are constructing in Bombay and in NCR as well, but we are not constructing as ferociously as we were doing, let's say, a couple of years back. So it's a good time to take that step back and now get into explore the fields that we were thinking about. So furniture is one. Tiles we've already thought about, and we've also reached out, and I think there are talks going on that we would in the near future be designing tiles for our projects as well as for designers to make the most of, and of course furniture. So some of these things we are talking about coming up in the near future. So I didn't want to say too much about it, but since you've triggered it.
Fantastic. You've got your hands full, Puran. But yeah, I think on a lighter note, so Puran, yeah, I was talking about your cool laid back style, and I always see you with these, really cool hats. And I believe you have an enviable collection of hats at home. And you said fashion is something that you might consider exploring, on a design side. So, thought about designing hats possibly?
No, I just consume those. So I must, no, not at all. I do not know. Why not? Because I haven't found too many hats that fit my head. I have a very small head. I have not found too many hats that fit my head. So maybe, who knows? Inshallah.
Amazing. But
Right.
Puran, all your projects, I know you get quite involved with naming. I know when we were working with the collection names as well. And your projects have some unique names. I know I've seen something that's called the Mango House. I've seen another project which is called Tianu. What's the process? I mean, obviously, while you're working on the project, is the name that's coming first that drives what the vision is going to be like, or the project's created and then the name sort of hits you somewhere along the inspiration process?
So, minor correction. Tianu is not a name that we've given. Tianu is a brand of furniture and lifestyle store,
Okay.
Which is here in Ballard Estate, and that's the project that the studio has is Tianu the Revival project, which is where we come in as architects. But yes, you're right. The nomenclature for the projects to have their identity to their names is an extremely central theme for our whole design process and our work to be expressed. But this is not to say that the name of a project is there upfront. What's upfront is the thought for the process. So the project has a certain process, and the thought behind it and the concept of the project coming together is what drives the project. Somewhere along the way, as the concept has solidified and it has started translating into a living being, which is a space by itself, it gets its identity. Sometimes the identity actually gets finalized only at the end, because then you see the finished product. Then you're looking at a complete story in front of you, and out of that theme, let's say Bombay Deco, we knew it was Art Deco, so we did have a working title for it as well. But Bombay Deco, for it to see with its subtitles of the Bombay's cinema houses, was something that was a given. So the 5 cinema houses with the Bombay Deco as a title, or Terra Firma, because we were just very firm on the terrain that we know as Studio PKA in an organic style, land inspired, was again very clear for us. But yeah, it goes hand in hand. The process is parallel. We never leave sight of the concept that goes behind our work. Possibly that's where the name comes from, and it's extremely, extremely significant for our work. You're right there. Thank you.
And I think that is important for us too, Puran. I think each rug, each collection typically has a name, and it encapsulates what sort of went into the making of. So you're right. I think it describes, it's the definition. I think it's like how individuals' names are my name or your name. I think it sort of becomes synonymous with who you are as a person.
Absolutely.
So obviously, we're doing this wonderful digital launch, working with technology. I'm sure you all have had some conversations how to go about this digital launch. This is a different world. What were conversations that you all had for the digital launch? How did you want it? What did you want it to capture?
So the one thing I want to tell you is that the conversations went on even after we went live, because we were still trying to figure things out. And additions have come in, but we didn't have a choice here. We are not in that world just now, at least not right now, where we could call everybody across. So in an ideal world, and I want to tell everybody here, in an ideal world, this would be at the loft. You would be there for an evening, and you would have wine flowing, and you would have look at all the rugs, and you'll meet the Cocoon team, you'll meet our team, and you'll meet a lot of friends, and you'll have a good time. But because we can't do that, and I promise you that we will do that, Ayush, and that's my promise to Cocoon as well. We will host an evening where we will bring in our collection, we'll bring in the rugs, and we will have everyone come in and enjoy and party with us. But in the absence of that, I think the best that we could do is put together a little glimpse of our rugs and have a little conversation, which just makes us relive the last 1 year as to how we've gone through the entire process. And as far as the actual launch is concerned, it's not over here yet. I must tell you, and that's for everyone, that you people would have a lot of visuals. You'll have a lot of presentations. You'll have videos coming together over social media. You can visit us on Instagram. You can see the collection on LinkedIn or on Cocoon's handles, wherever you need to. Or of course, Cocoon Fine Rugs. You can call them and actually fix an appointment and see the stuff physically. But yes, the launch doesn't stop here with this evening. To me, this is the beginning of the launch. And for the next few weeks and months, you will keep hearing about this product, and you will keep hearing about this collection, which it really is there for you people to come up and see whenever you have the need for it or the want for it. So yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, I think the idea for the live, Puran, as we spoke about, was going to be the glimpse behind what really went on behind the scenes, because I think, it's easy to just have the product sort of, you can see the visuals of the product and really not know what sort of went behind. And I think that was probably the idea that, in a physical launch world, we would have had these conversations personally. But here it was important that this message came across. A lot went into it. And obviously with some of these stories and posts that the teams have been putting together, I think maybe part of the iceberg's been revealed, but I think the big reveal, like you said, is going to happen in the coming days, hours, and so on. But no, looking forward to that physical event party at the Loft, Puran. I still haven't been. I missed the last one, and I've heard amazing things. And I do think the rugs would complement the space and the other way around really well. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun as and when we are able to do that, but obviously under all strict protocols.
So all in all, Thanks everyone who's been here with us for the launch. Thank you, Ayush, and your team. We look forward to doing more of this together to start reaching this out to as many people as we can. I would like to request whoever sees this that you must try and reach out either one of the two houses, whether it's a Cocoon or a Studio PK house, to try and see how you can get a look at these collections, these designs. Of course, apart from social media, the physical aspect, Ayush is very thrilled about it. He's going to market it in a very aggressive fashion. But I think more than the marketing, more than reaching out to people, I think it's the design which we would wish that people would get triggered by, people would get excited by, and reach out to see that they can have a look at it. So by all means, Ayush, if I may ask you to lift your glass so that we can
Absolutely.
maybe sign off this session and say thank you to everyone, and thank you to your team, where we would like to make sure that this is the first of such collaborations that we have with your brand and with other brands, and we like to go forward from here.
It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure, Pooran, and like you said, just the beginning. So to many more, and to many more drinks in person together as well.
Of course. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.